Hello, Jad. Hello?
Yes.
Yes, can
Hi.
you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you okay.
Okay, good. So, how are you, Jad?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I feel cold. And it's good to hear that you're doing good or great. And I've seen you lately. You posted something on Facebook about you painting your walls at home. So, how's the renovation going?
Um, we're almost done painting the walls finally, and now have a room of my own after 27 years.
Wow, congratulations. And yeah, I know that you've been working for that for a long time now. Cause
Yes.
yeah, cause we've been talking about getting a house, processing it through Pag-ibig, and I'm glad that it has been realized, and I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And since since we just talked about your house, which was, I believe that was the motivation that you had before, and since that has
Mm,
already been realized, I'd like to know um, what's next to that.
mm. Since we've already started this, probably I'll buy things like, TV, sofa set, dining set. But of course, I need to save up for that one.
Yeah, that's a lot. And since you now have another project and you need to save up, let's see what we can do to help you with that new goal. So today, Jad, as you know, we will be talking about your scorecard for the last month.
Mm.
And let me share my screen. Oops. Just hold on. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, so as I said, we will be talking about your scorecard for for the last month, September. But the scorecard that we have right now is for your running performance for October. So
Okay.
let's talk about this first, and then later on we'll switch to another page to see how you performed last month. So for the
Hmm.
running month, what can you say about your performance?
I see that all KPMs are colored amber.
Mhm. Yes, you're right. So when it's amber, what does that mean?
It means it's almost there, but not yet hitting the target.
Okay, correct. So for your CSAT, AHT, transfer, they're all in amber. So
Hmm.
for CSAT, you're at 90.6% to target, transfer 99% to target, and AHT is 95.2% target. So since we just started the month, let's also talk about your performance for September, so that we will know what we can do or what happened to September, which then we will know what we can do to improve your October performance. Okay,
Okay.
so what I have here is your monthly performance. So this
Mhm.
area here is your September and then your October. So what can you say about your September performance?
Mm, I can see that my September CSAT or performance was better than my August based on what I see. my August did not meet at least standard. But even though it's better, I still need to work on it because it has not reached the target yet.
Yes, you're right. I actually appreciate the improvement on your CSAT because for August, you were at 384 and then it improved to 412. But what can you say now? What can you say about your HD?
My HD, see that it's good for the last month. It already reached the target, which is
Yes,
at
you're right.
101%.
Yeah, you're right. So, it hit the target. So good job
Mm.
on that. And what do you think helped you with your HD?
The thing that probably helped me with my HD is my snippets that surely will help me be efficient with my chats and also utilizing my tools properly.
Mhm. Yeah, I would also agree because I've been evaluating your contacts and I have noticed that you've been consistent in using your snippets. So good job on that. So continue on using your snippets, and it clearly shows that is helping you hit the target on your HD.
Mhm.
For how about for your transfer rate? What can you say about that?
For transfer, I can also see that it did well or it did great on me for the previous month.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because I always ask for your validation. I mean, my supervisor's validation before I transfer chats, and always make sure to check transfer guidelines.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And yes, good job again for your transfer rate. And yes, as part of our action plan for the team, we need to make sure that we ask for validation to avoid avoid invalid transfers. So good job on
Mhm.
hitting the target on transfers, and at the same time good job because for the last past few weeks we have not received any invalid call outs on your transfer, so you just need to continue doing that. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, since we've already checked your performance for September and October, among the three KPMs that we have discussed, which do you think you need to work on?
Mm, I think I really need to work on my CSAT because based on my scorecard, I'm already reaching or achieving the target for HT and the transfer rate,
Mhm.
which can be worked on. But for CSAT, I really need to work onto that one because based on what you are sharing on the screen, you can only see one green on the CSAT, and the rest are amber.
Yes, I agree, Jan. CSAT needs to be focused on because, yes, as you said, there's only one green, which was on
Mm-hmm.
June, and the other next months to that all are in amber. While if we compare it to your HD, since June to September, you were already in green. So you were already hitting the target. Although for your HD for the month of October, you are in amber, but that's 95% to target, while CSAT is still at 90.6% to target. So,
Yes.
yeah, there. So CSAT needs to be focused on. So talking about CSAT, um, let's check on your chat survey drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Okay.
see what CSAT driver impacted your CSAT performance for September? So I have it here. What do you think is the most impactful SR classification on your CSAT?
I think the most impactful um, CSAT drivers are payment for items or paying for items concerns and also bidding buying
Okay, and why do you think those two?
because if you compare it to me versus the team, there's like a big gap from my score to the team score.
Mhm.
So I really need to work onto that one to be able to also be on the same,
Be
status with them or level.
same level. Okay. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree. Both of these contacts, or I mean, contact drive, what I mean, contact topics or classification, you are at 4 for BBI, while the team is at 430. For
Mhm.
PYI, you're at 325, while the team is at 415. So, also, aside from that, if we look at the number of responses, BBI and PYI have the most number, right?
Yes.
It has
Yes.
the most number, and it also has the low CSAT
Lowest.
score.
Mhm.
So these are the two that you need to work on. So right now, since we have already identified what KPM and topics you need to focus on, I'd like to check what can you remember about the action plans that we created during our last coaching?
For the action plans we did for the last coaching, I remembered to always actively listen. I mean, no, I'm sorry, actively read the members' stated concerns and also acknowledge whenever there is an opportunity to acknowledge their motivation or concern.
Okay, yeah, you're right. That was our agreed action plan. And why do you think that was the action plan that we created that time?
Um, that was the action plan that we created because there were instances or times that I miss some important parts because I was too focused on just answering the I mean the information. I'm sorry, just answering the members' motivation when I ask them what do they want to achieve on this contact.
Okay, correct. And I appreciate you remembering your action plans. And how do you think missing important parts of the contacts because you're only focusing on one thing, how did that affect your resolution?
Um, it will affect me during providing my resolution because it might not be the resolution that the member wants to get, most especially if there are like two concerns provided, but only one concern was addressed. So even if I'm able to provide the right resolution, however, it's not complete, then it might still be like bad survey or DSAT.
Correct. Yes, if you miss some of the information or important information the member has provided, then it can lead to um, what do you call this? It can lead to giving an incomplete resolution, which then can result
Hmm.
to a low CSAT survey from our customers. And how are you doing with your action plans, John?
Um, I'm still working on it. I'm doing my best to make sure to display the action plan that we agreed on the previous coaching session.
I see. And well, I appreciate the honesty that you are, doing your best to apply it. So today, Jad, we will check on a contact that I have prepared here, which I have already reviewed. So same as before, same as what we've been doing on our coaching sessions, we will read the contact and I'd like you to observe what are the good things that you have um, displayed and what are your other observations in the contact. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll be the customer and you'll be Jad.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So the reason for contact was trying to pay for an item with a gift card I registered with eBay. However, the balance on the card won't cover the entire cost of the item. Can I pick would not cover the entire cost of the item? Can I pick up the rest of the cost with another debit card? So I think this is a transfer contact. So
Yes.
let's read here on your part. So you're Jad.
Okay. Hi, Thomas. Welcome to eBay. My name is Jad, and I'm here to help. Let me place you on a brief hold so that I can read the previous chat and know more about the issue. It should only be less than 2 minutes. Is that okay?
Hello, Jad.
Hi. Hi, just checking if we are still connected.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I understand that you need help with buying an item since the gift card or the eBay gift card is not enough to cover the amount. Let me do my best to assist you further. Regarding this payment concern, is there anything else that you need help with?
Can I use two cards? Jad, are you there?
Yes, I think that's still you, coach.
Huh? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. The
Okay.
next part is still you. That's
Oh,
still the
okay.
customer.
Sorry, I thought I lost you. The first is not an eBay gift card. It's a Visa card.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that to me.
No, this is the only issue.
Thanks. No, we do not accept two payment methods because our system is designed to only accept one card or payment method at the checkout.
Oh, that's not good, but thanks.
But you can use PayPal at the checkout, and on PayPal, you can link cards there. I suggested that you try to contact PayPal so that they can help you in linking your card and ask them how to sequence your card in a way that they can be both used at our checkout page. Hi, just checking if we are still connected. I don't see any response from you. I will disconnect this chat now. If you still need or if you still require assistance, please don't hesitate to contact us again. Thanks for choosing eBay and stay safe.
Okay, there. So, since earlier we talked about what were the action plans that we have created and agreed on, what can you say about your application on those action plans in this contact?
Mm, I see that I was able to acknowledge the concern And I was also able to thank the member for clarifying.
Hmm. Yeah, that's right. I've also observed that there were opportunities to acknowledge, and you were able to acknowledge. So yeah, so this part, you were able to acknowledge what was the member's concern. And then when the member stated it's not for any big gift card, you also acknowledge by saying thank you for clarifying. So
Mhm.
this time, what I'd like to know is what do you understand about the member's issue for this contact?
Mm, I understand that the member wants to use two different payment methods to check out because he doesn't have enough funds in one of his card to cover the full purchase price.
Correct. Yes. That was the member's issue or stated concern. And how many issues are there?
Mm, I think there were two issues. First is that he doesn't have enough funds on one card and he wants to know if he can use two cards to check out.
Sorry. Yes, you are right. There were two um, there were two issues that were mentioned. One was, let's go back. One was the balance on the card would not cover the entire cost of the item. And the other one was, can I pick up the rest of the cost with another card? Or if you can use two cards, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
and how did you resolve the member's issue?
Mm,
Let's see.
I resolved it by being direct in saying no, it's not available on our checkout.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you said no, we do not accept two payment methods because it's designed to only accept one.
Mhm.
And when you said this, how did the member respond?
Um, Based on what we have read, the member responded negatively. He said that's not good.
Mm, yes, correct. And why do you think he responded and said that's not good?
I think it's because um, I only answered his question about using two cards, which was not available on our checkout page.
Mm,
And I was not able to address the other one or the other concern because I was too focused on providing the answer to his inquiry about using two cards for checking out.
mm. So you are so you are saying um, that we talked about the member has two issues earlier, right?
Yes.
And you are saying that you were only able to address or answer the question about him if it's possible to use two cards. And
Yes, you're right.
okay, so you are saying that you missed addressing the other issue. So are you saying you were not so you're saying active reading was not displayed in this contact?
Yes, I think so. Because I was not able to address both concerns. Well, um, I I think I tried to address the other concern, but it was too late because the member already responded negatively to my first answer, which was, they cannot use two cards at the checkout page.
Yeah. Yeah. I I agree that yeah, it can be too late because if you have noticed, the member didn't no longer responded, right? He went on idle right
Mm-hmm.
after you said this. So I think when he said thanks, he's already done with this answer.
Mm-hmm.
So I am actually concerned, Jad, because I have noticed the same behavior on other contacts, on your other contacts, that I have randomly reviewed and evaluated. And I'd like to know what is causing you to only focus on one question and just directly answer.
Mm. Because there are times, coach, when that I feel that I need to rush to make it up on my previous long chats.
I see. So you feel the need to go fast so you can make it up on
Probably.
your other long chats. Okay, let's see how
Mm-hmm.
long did this take. So that's 4:01. Then it ended 4:12. So it's around 11 minutes, right?
Mm, yes.
Okay. And then you provided the resolution around. So you were able to get the member or get a clarification on the member's issue around 4:06. You're able to check how many issues around 4:07. Then you responded in 4:08:02. So that's just seconds apart from the last response.
Mm-hmm.
But why do you think you need to rush aside from you want to make it up on your long chats?
Because I also don't want to be called out, for high HT or the outliers,
Mm,
and I want to make sure to hit the target because it's part of my bonus.
I see. I can understand it's important. I mean, how important HT is on your bonuses and why you're concerned of hitting the target. But if we go back to this contact, how how do you think going fast or rushing impacted this contact?
Mm.
Or how
Since
go ahead, go.
um since I went fast by directly saying no, it resulted to getting a negative answer from the member, and it's possible that the member might give me a DSAT or a bad survey because of how I answered him or the member.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. So it was clear that the member um, did not like or was not satisfied with the resolution, with how he responded after getting your no. That is not an
Mm.
option, or that's not available. And it can also lead to it's possible to get a low survey on this contact with how the member responded. So
Yes.
with this behavior that we just talked about, how do you think that will impact your goal of saving up?
It will not help me to reach my goal, or it will negatively impact my goal. I might fail CSAT and, of course, not get my bonus.
Correct, because even though you are hitting target for your HT but CSAT is below standard, then you're not going to be eligible of the bonus because
Mhm.
it should be, I mean, CSAT and HT should pass, right? for you to get your
Yes.
bonus. So, um, let me see. So, um, let me just check.
Okay.
Just hold on. I'm still checking.
Okay. But coach, just want to add this one. Um, for this contact,
Mm.
I was in a hurry to say no because I was already distracted. Because I know the resolution that I have in mind is not going to be positive for the member. Like we all know that it's gonna be no. I feel like they need to know that it's not an option, and that's really like a big challenge on my end in positively positioning the resolution. That is why I would say no first, then provide the options.
Mm, I see. So you're saying that aside from um, being concerned about your HT, you are also challenged in how you can positively position your resolution. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And what
because
what challenges do you have on positive? I mean, on responding positively your members.
I find it hard sometimes to deliver bad news because I have the impression that the member might take my responses, negatively, or it
Mm.
might end up I might end up having a sub chat or escalated chat.
Oh, I see. So you're saying that if you already know that you are if you already know that the answer to their question is that it's a no, then you already feel challenged because you're thinking that they might not like your response. I mean, they might not like your, what do you call this? Your answer to their question.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
you might get a negative response from them. Correct?
Mhm.
So,
Yes, that's right.
okay. So why do you think they would respond to you that way?
Because it's not the resolution that they would like to hear.
Okay, I see. But if you've noticed in this contact, so we talked about earlier that you did try to save, or I mean, you did try to provide this option. Um, you provided the PayPal option. They can add a card, link the card to their PayPal account. And so, with this, I'd like to know why this was not provided first, since you mentioned that you're concerned about how they are going to respond to you.
Mm. I think it's because I'm used to uh be being direct. Um, Even during when I was like taking calls or phones, I'm used to saying no directly and then just provide the options afterwards when on phones. So that's why I'm applying it on my chats. I thought it would also work.
Okay, I understand. I understand. And what do you think would be the members' or response or reaction if you could have provided this PayPal option first before saying no, or
Mm.
even yeah, there. Or let me rephrase my question. Um, how would the member respond if we provided this first, this resolution first?
You mean the PayPal option first
Yeah, do you still
before?
see my
Okay.
screen?
Yes.
Yeah, if you could have provided that
Um,
option first, then how would they respond?
I think they would have responded differently because it's what they needed to hear.
Yeah, exactly. The members, as you said earlier, there were two questions. The member wants to know if he can use two cards because he doesn't have enough funds in one card. So this is the resolution that they need, right?
Yes, yes.
So, since you said that you're used to doing, or you're used to being direct when you were still on phones, and you thought that it will be the same on chat, then what made you think it's going to be the same, or it'll work for both channels?
Um, I just find it hard to respond positively when I already know that the answer is no. Sometimes I don't know how to, position my responses.
Okay, I see. So it is really a challenge for you, right? So,
Yes.
well, it's not, I mean, most of us have difficulties on how we can positively position, especially if it's a bad news that we need to deliver, or if it's like a dead end. So, but what do you think, Jad, we can do to improve this behavior?
Mm, maybe we can practice on how I can position my responses
Yeah, sure.
or
Yeah.
yeah,
What else do you think? What can we do aside from practicing?
I think that's it
Okay.
because if practicing if you're used to doing it then eventually you'll get used to it.
Yeah,
It's
correct.
not
Practice makes
awkward
perfect.
anymore.
Correct. I agree. So, yes, we can practice on how to say no without saying no by focusing on the available options. So, I will show you how. Um, so, let's go back to this contact. So, the resolution that you provided was first, you said, no, we do not accept two payment methods because our system is designed to only accept one card or payment method at the checkout. So that was the
Mhm.
resolution that you provided. So as I mentioned earlier, we can say no without saying no. And we can do that by focusing more on the available options for the member. So instead of saying this, we can say um, the checkout the checkout page, or our checkout page, will allow us to enter only one card. You may log into your PayPal account, add the two cards as your source of funds. Then, when you check out on eBay, you select PayPal as your payment option. Then it will allow you to select your funding source.
Okay. Yeah, I think that sounds much better than what I provided to to the member,
Yeah.
because there were you have given, or you have stated it positively. There were no, I mean, the no word was not mentioned at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's
Correct. So
better.
we didn't have to say that it's not accepted on eBay, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we were able to educate the customer that the system is designed to accept only one card. But then we focused more on what the member can do,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which answers his question about if he can use the two cards to cover the the price of the purchase because he doesn't have enough funds in one card. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. So, can you think of scenarios that's challenging for you because no is the answer? So I can teach you how we can position the resolution.
Let me check. Um, uh, this is also like frequent when it comes to like chats, getting chats like this.
Mm,
It's hard for me to provide the resolution if a member is calling about an item like that's no longer covered with our eBay money back guarantee. So it's like, I think it's a dead end concern, and
mm,
members might not take the options.
mm. I see. Yeah, I see. Yes, it can be a difficult conversation because it's no longer covered. So we can no longer offer opening a case since it's beyond 30 days. So the rest of for this is to educate the member about the 30 days EMBG coverage, and then we provide them with the external options. But for you, Jad, how do you normally respond to the customer for this type of contact?
I would say, I understand you would like to get a refund, but according to our policy or eBay money back guarantee policy, you're no longer covered since the transaction is already beyond 30 days already.
Okay, I see. Okay. Well, I appreciate that there's empathy. You said Amber would like to get a refund. Um, and focusing on the reason is actually one thing that we can do. But instead of saying that, we can actually change it or tweak it to because I'm sorry. You mentioned you are no long according to our EMBG policy, right? You're no longer covered.
Yes.
Mm. So we can say since the transaction happened more than 30 days ago and our EMBG covers only transactions within 30 days, what we can do is, and then we provide the options. What we can do is, if you haven't contacted your seller, you may contact your seller because most sellers respond to their customers to try to make things right. But if ever the seller does not
Hmm.
respond, you may contact the law enforcement, the other options that we have in KB. So
You're right.
yeah, what do you think of how I responded or provided the resolution?
Yes, I think that sounds better, coach, because the member is presented with the things that they can do. So if we say that they are no longer covered, they might be focusing with, um, they might be focusing more on the no word, no longer covered. So that part instead of focusing on the options that you have given.
That's right. So good catch on the what do you call this? The no longer covered part. Because if we keep on saying that, or if we use that some kind of a phrase, the member would be focusing more on that.
Mm,
So the
yes.
key is for us to catch the member's attention on the available options by focusing on the can do's, or what you can do, what the member can do.
Mm. Yes, I think that's right. Because I am more focused on informing the member that it's not possible or that option is not available. Although I know there are other options that I can provide them.
Mhm. Correct. And practice more on focusing on what is the reason, which is for that scenario that we just talked about, which is for them to get the refund. So since that is the reason, then we need to focus on the options to help them get their refund, right? So
Mm.
instead of us
Yes, coach.
focusing more on what I call this, more on beyond 30 days fact, then we focus more on what we can do to help them get their refund. Okay?
Yes, you're right.
So is that something that's um, clear, or you have any questions about what we have just discussed?
No, I don't have questions.
Okay. So it's time for you to try. So I have here a list. I have I have prepared scenarios, which I actually asked from your other teammates, and also from my observations, wherein um, you have difficulties in what I call this, in responding positively. So what I'd like you to do is to try to positively position the resolution based on what you've learned. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, so just hold on. Let me just stop sharing. So, Jad, I am
Mm.
sharing my screen again. So, I have here a list of scenarios, and I'll be sending this to your webmail.
Okay.
I'll be sending this through webmail. So, I want you to create your responses for each one, and then we will discuss. So,
Okay.
we have, let's just do it for 5 minutes, I guess. That fine?
Mm, yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Let me know once you're already done. Okay.
Okay. Let me check my work.
If 5 minutes is not enough, let me know. You're almost done, Jad?
Almost.
Okay. Well, have you answered the first two?
Yes.
Okay, so that's fine. Let's discuss just the first two maybe. If we still have time, then we'll discuss the three and four. Okay.
Okay.
So, how would you respond if the member wants us to contact the seller on their behalf because the seller has not responded to their messages?
Okay. Um, should I say or should I just like answer the member? I mean, answer you as a member.
Um, answer as if you're talking to the member.
So remember. Okay. Um, I appreciate you. I appreciate your efforts in contacting your seller, and at the same time, we have notified the seller to send the item to you as soon as possible by posting daily reminders on their sold section. We've also informed them to upload the tracking number, which is a requirement to receive the funds. So, since you've mentioned you have already contacted them, we we will wait, or we can wait for them to respond to your emails, and rest assured that this transaction is covered by our eBay money back guarantee.
That's good. That's actually good. I do not. I didn't hear you say anything like negative or say no on those statements. And there's assurance on EMBG. Also,
Mhm.
um, we didn't say no, no, we cannot contact the seller, but we inform the member that we have automated notifications or reminders that we sent out to to our sellers. So good job on that. So
Thank you.
yeah, so let's try the other one. The next one, which is a member already called PayPal. They didn't get clear answers from PayPal. Then member wants to pay for the item and wants us to resolve it.
Okay.
So same thing as before. Just talk to me as if I'm the member.
Okay. As I have reviewed your eBay account, I don't see any limitations or restrictions that should prevent the checkout from being successful. What I see is the seller's payment processor, which is PayPal, needs to authenticate information from you to ensure the security of both of you and the seller. Most of the time, PayPal flags a transaction if it's the first time that the card is used, or a transaction amount is not usually within the spending pattern. I recommend that you get in touch with PayPal again to validate the transaction. You may inform them that we've already validated your eBay account, and calling them is a quick process. Once done, they mean you should mean the payment should go through successfully.
Yeah, that's actually good, Jan. Although it's a bit, it's a bit
Lengthy.
lengthy. But it's good that you were able to cover everything about the member's account, giving them assurance that there's no problem on their eBay account, which would then make them understand why there is a necessity to
Contact them
to
again.
contact PayPal again, because you were able to cover the explanation that PayPal is the payment processor of the seller. You also provided possible reasons why PayPal would flag a transaction. So those are
Mhm.
the those are really good, what do I call this, responses. And now, um, how do you feel about that activity?
I I learned how to position my responses. Um, what's important? What are the important things that they can do, or what's important is the things that they can do, rather. So I should focus more the on that so that member will remember the can do's instead of remembering the no part.
Correct. That's right. So yeah, it's very important that we put emphasis on the can do's part,
Mhm.
so that by the end of the contact, what the member can recall is what they can do or what you did for the member, and not
Yes.
the no, this is not available, no, um, this is not an option. So if we focus more on by saying, here are the things that you can do, here's what I can do. So your member will recall that Jad is the can do teammate. So now that you have practiced on how to positively position your responses, then what do you think you can do to improve your CSAT? What do we need to improve on our previous action plan?
Hmm. For all contacts, I should ensure that I'm able to actively read members' concern and responses. I should also make sure to focus on what I can do for the member or what options can I provide them to avoid for me to avoid being distracted and in order not to miss important details.
I agree. So before, as we have discussed, the action plan, it was more on acknowledging the important or acknowledging all the members' responses. So although
Mm-hmm.
you are planning of focusing more on what do you call this, on providing, focusing more on what the member can do or what the options you can provide them, still have to continue with acknowledging every responses. Okay. And
Yes.
so with this action plan, how do you think this will impact customers experience?
By following this action plan, um, I'm positive that I will be able to address all of members' concerns and provide complete resolution, which can, of course, lead to a better customer experience.
That's right. And that's right. It can lead to a better customer experience because you are able to provide them or address all of their concerns. And if you, or so, how will I know if you are consistently applying that action plan that you mentioned in your contacts?
Mm. Can I do the same as before, Coach? Like, can I send you my chat, maybe 2 to 3 chats daily, so that you can review?
Yeah, we can still do that. So I'll be expecting 2 to 3 chats from you every day before um, EOS.
Yes.
Okay. And also, aside from you doing that, I'm also going to be doing random chats, random chat reviews, and then I'll be providing you feedback when necessary.
Okay.
So, Talking about action plans, when do you think you'll start applying them?
I should apply them right after this session.
Right after this session. Okay, so tomorrow or tonight, next shift,
Yes.
right?
Later shift. Yes.
Okay. And by applying your action plans later, how will this help you with your CSAT?
Um, it will increase, coach, because I will be able to hit my target.
Okay, correct. So what would be your target, since we mentioned or since we discussed earlier about your two topic drivers or survey drivers, which is BBI and uh, where, where am I? Okay, here. BBI and PYI. So what would be your target for your BBI contacts?
For BBI, since I see that I'm at 4, maybe 410,
Okay.
410.
How
And then
about for PYI?
for PYI, since there's really like a big gap between me and the team, um, I can try to reach 4.
Okay, at least four. Okay, well,
Mhm.
those numbers, Jad, are I think realistic based on your current CSAT survey score. And when should I expect you to hit your target?
Mm. By the end of the week.
So today is Wednesday, so you have until Sunday or Saturday because
Yes.
that's your RD. So you have
Mm,
until
yes.
October 10 to work on that. Okay. So I'd like you to put this in writing. So I have here a form, the Smart Action Plan form. So I'll be sending this to your email through webmail, and I'd like you to fill it out with the action plans that we have stated or we have agreed on earlier. Okay?
Okay, coach.
All right. And so for the first check in, I'll be checking in on you by Friday, and then second check in would be on Saturday. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Um, so these check ins would be for the, what do you call this? The random chat review. Okay?
Okay.
And do you have any more questions? Do you have any questions for me, Jad, about what we just talked about?
No.
Okay.
Everything's clear.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your cooperation. Um, um, you know that if you have any questions, you can just call me or message me, or we can just talk in Google Meet. Anyways, we
Yes.
do that every day. So that's it for now. So you have a good rest, and I'll see you later. Okay?
You too. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
Bye.